today we are going to be making chocolate truffles. This is just a recipe that I found. I used to do cooking class, so we made these in cooking class, and here's the recipe that I will be using. You can follow the steps along with me. There is not a ton of ingredients that you'll need, so it should be pretty fun. The first thing that we have to do is grab a saucepan, so I'm gonna grab that. Just a standard pot. So we need to put our heavy whipping cream. I'm gonna be making a double batch, so it will make about 24 truffles. So I will need 2/3 of heavy whipping cream, and if you're just making a single batch, then you only need 1/3 of a cup. So let's do that. Okay, so 1/3, and we will just fill that up 2 times. Okay, so one-third. And looks like I'll have to open the other bottle. And then this will just go directly into the saucepan with the other. So then we need to put that in the sink. And then we need to turn on our burner and cook this until it simmers for about like 2 minutes or so. Don't heat it too quickly though, because you don't want it to burn. So just do it until it simmers, but not until it burns. It should have little bubbles when it starts to simmer. I will be back when that's done simmering. Okay, so while that is simmering, we will get the next step of our recipe together, which is 8 ounces of chocolate chips. I will be using 16 ounces of chocolate chips since I am doing a double batch today. So I will need 2 cups of chocolate chips, just regular chocolate chips. You can also use like a chocolate bar, and if you use a chocolate bar, you're just gonna have to cut it up a bit so that it melts easier. And don't forget to stir your cream so it doesn't burn. So I will need 2 cups. Okay, so you want to grab another bowl. One that will not melt if it gets hot, because the cream will be hot. I will just be using this bowl, I think, as long as everything fits. So I need 2 cups of chocolate chips. And if you are making a single batch, you will only need 1 cup of chocolate chips, or 8 ounces, depending on how you measure things wherever you're from. the ones you can spell, you can just eat those. 1 cup. And 2 cups. Okay, I'm gonna have to find a bigger bowl because I don't think they're going to be big enough. Hello again. Change of plans. We are going to be using this bowl because it's bigger and it will not melt if I put hot liquids in it. So there, put that right there. So by now, your cream should be hot. Just below a simmer is ideal. So you just want to make sure it's hot. Don't touch it, you'll burn yourself. But just hand over and make sure it's nice and warm. Turn off the burner. Take your pan. As you can see, mine's steaming. And the recipe out of the way. Gently just pour the cream over the chocolate chips or whatever you're using. Then I'm just going to use this handy dandy spatula, and you want to mix all of this together until it's combined nicely. And we will just keep stirring. This may take you a little while, so don't give up and think it's never gonna work. You'll get there. Just keep stirring. It'll all melt down nicely. Don't touch it. It's most likely going to be very hot, and I don't need any of my lovely viewers to burn themselves. So, depending on how clumpy you like your truffles, you can leave some chocolate chunks in there, or you can mix until they're completely melted. It's just kind of all up to preference. I'm probably gonna end up leaving some chunks in here only because I don't think my cream was quite hot enough, but so it should look kind of like brownie batter. If you've eaten brownies before, it should look like brownie batter, but hot brownie batter. So the warmer your cream is, the easier it will be for your chocolate chips to melt. Mine did not completely melt. My cream probably was not warm enough, but we're just gonna roll with it. We're gonna keep moving. So next is the butter. So you will need 1/3 a cup for 1 batch, 2/3 of a cup for 2 batches. I will be making like 2/3 cup because I'm making double batch, like I've said probably a million times. So I'm just going to open up the butter. So I need a whole package. Handy dandy knife. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5 tablespoons equals 1 cup. 1/3 of a cup is 5 tablespoons. So I need 10 tablespoons. So then 3, 4, 5. So I need 1 stick, just a stick, plus 2 more tablespoons from another stick. I personally like to kind of just use my knife and just mark it on the side, like where it will be, so that I know where to cut. And I'll just wipe it on the side of the bowl. So we add softened butter and continue stirring until it is completely stirred in. So just stir it up until the butter is all mixed in. You don't want any lumps of butter, it won't taste very good. So you just want to make sure that everything is 100% mixed in. Sorry, my parents are walking around in the background. Do not feed this to your dog. It has a lot of chocolate, and I do not want your poor pets to get hurt or have to get surgery or anything. So just don't feed this to your dogs or your pets. Or I don't know if parakeets can eat chocolate. I mean, just do your research before you give it to anybody that's not a human. I have made these several times before, so they are really, really good, and I highly recommend you trying them. If you try them, you can let me know in the comments down below if you try them, and tell me how it works out, because I would love your feedback. So this is kind of what it looks like. Just kind of like goopy, melty chocolate. So we've added our heavy whipping cream. We did our chocolate. We put in the butter and we stirred it all up. So now we can take our spatula or spoon or whatever you have, your utensil of choice, to mix this up. You can lick this if you would like, because there was no raw eggs in it. Unless of course you're allergic to it, then do not recommend licking it. Don't try this recipe and give it to somebody that is allergic. They will not like that very much. On a paper towel, and we're going to take our mixture, just kind of look like that. Doesn't look the best. We are going to cover it with plastic wrap and refrigerate it for about 30 minutes or until it's nice and firm. You want it to be firm, but you do not want it to be frozen. So just until firm, and I will wrap it in plastic wrap, put it in the fridge, and see you when 30 minutes is up. So we have red cling wrap here. Any color of cling wrap will work just fine. So we'll just get this out maybe. So you want it to be big enough to cover your whole entire bowl. And yes, it needs to be a bowl. You cannot just like make this on a plate. Unless you want to, I guess. I don't judge. So you want to cover it just like so with some cling wrap. You'll probably end up needing 2 pieces unless you have like extra wide cling wrap. I don't know what you people buy. but I'm going to need 2 pieces. And just put the cling wrap right over it, like so. So it should look something like this, but yours is probably clear. I'm gonna go put this in the fridge, and I will see you in half an hour. Okay, so this is after 30 minutes in the fridge. Remember, I did make a double batch of this, so it may not be cool yet, but we shall check. It's here. Let's see. Spatula. Okay. So it currently is not done quite yet. Around the edges are a bit done. So we are going to just mix it all up, and we shall put it back in the fridge for another half an hour. So I will see you then. Okay, so I put it in for another half an hour, so it has been in there for a total of 1 hour so far. So got my handy dandy spatula. Let's see. Okay guys, I'm pretty sure it's done. Yeah. It's a bit hard, but still moldable. So the next step is to grab 2 bowls and fill them with powdered sugar and cocoa powder. So I'm just going to set this bowl to the side for a second and put this in the fridge. So you just be using these 2, and you can do this part with your hands, but I think I'm probably gonna do it with a melon baller. And you will need a 1/3 of a cup of each cocoa powder and powdered sugar for a single batch, and 2/3 of each for a double batch. I'm going to start with 1/3 of each, even though I did make a double batch, just because I don't know how much I'm actually going to end up using. So you just want to scoop some in there. Gonna use the spoon just to get any excess cocoa powder off of the bottom of this box. Should be plenty. And like anything like baking cocoa or just like regular Hershey's cocoa will do. It doesn't have to be baking cocoa. It can just be kind of whatever cocoa powder you have. Sorry, my dog's under my feet. So then you also need 1/3 of a cup of powdered sugar. So I'm just gonna use the same one that I used for my cocoa powder. I'm just gonna rinse it out and dry it off. You don't have to wash it just because, just and then some powdered sugar. So, just put this bowl to the side. Okay, so there's 1/3 cup, and then 2/3 cup of powdered sugar. Oops, made a bit of a mess. So I'm just gonna put that over here to be washed. Might wash that later. Might just put it in the dishwasher. So this part is kind of up to you how you want to proceed. You can roll them out with your hands. You can use like measuring spoon, regular spoon, ice cream scooper if you want. Just whatever you would like. I'm going to use a melon baller. I'll show you what that looks like if you don't know. So you want to take melon baller, use your hands if you want. You want to dust that with either some powdered sugar or cocoa powder, just depending. I'm just going to use powdered sugar just because it's here. Just kind of spread that around because you don't want these to stick, because if it sticks then it's going to be kind of difficult to get off, and then you just want to just kind of go like that. Get any excess out. I'm going to grab a plate, and after I finish my truffles, just pop them down on the plate. So I'm just gonna put that over here to the side, and you want to take it, dip it into your mixture. If you're using melon baller, just kind of rub it up against the side and then push it down and scrape off any excess that might be there. And you want to take this cocoa powder or powdered sugar, whichever you want to do first, plop it in there, and then just kind of dust it, roll it around, and then that is what that looks like. You can then also put it in powdered sugar as well. I think I'm just going to end up doing half in cocoa powder and half in powdered sugar. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, is just, but you can do all cocoa powder, all powdered sugar, both, whatever you want. I'm just going to do 12 of each, since I made a double batch. It makes about 12 truffles. So every other one, I'm gonna just do 1 powdered sugar and 1 cocoa powder, just to make sure it stays even in case this doesn't end up making quite 24, so that it just is nice and even. So you just want to make sure get a nice even consistency, and then just, it might be a bit challenging, just plop that in there, and then just roll it around a bit, toss some powdered sugar on places, and this is what the ones in powdered sugar should look like. I'm not going to show you all of them because that would take forever, so I will be back once I've finished and I will show you all of the truffles together. Okay, everybody, so here are the finished truffles. There's a little derp right there. It didn't end up making 24 truffles. It ended up making 20. So keep that in mind. The batter did start to melt a little bit because the light that I had on was really hot, but If you decide to try this at home, you can tell me, and sorry about any background noise. Tell me how it went. So like, subscribe, comment, share. My social medias will be in the description box below. Bye!